Hello everyone, this is Joe for Soft Corners here, and for today's video, I am doing a response for John over at Wade Boggs Fan. He is holding a contest for hitting 2,000 subscribers, so congrats on that, John. Just awesome accomplishment. The time and effort and research you put into your videos is just remarkable, and the amount of videos you put out, so just very well deserving of that number of subscribers. So if anybody is not, sure you are, but please go subscribe to John. I'll get right into it. So I'm going to be showing off this 1978 Topps set. Well, we'll call it a build yet I have here because I'm missing 4 cards, but we're just going to flip through this so we have something to look at while I'm talking. I'm probably not going to say much about the cards, maybe just the ones I'm missing. I'm missing the Brooks Robinson record breaker here, but we'll kind of just look at the cards. So yeah, I'm showing this off. This is the first packs that John opened as a kid. So this set holds a special affinity for him. He's also pretty close to completing a really cool detailed set build he's doing. Not just this in general probably is, I don't know, VG, VGX cards range from, I mean, some would probably grade 7s or 8s. Some would be 2s. But he's really sticking to, you know, centering and nice registration and nice copies of these cards. So just been enjoying seeing him put that together. But anyway, so for his contest, he wants us to talk about what our time as content creators on YouTube has meant to us, what we've gained from it. And so I'm just about 10 days or so, a little less, I guess, at this point. June 6th, 2022 is when I first started making content, so coming right up on 2 years for me here. So what it meant for me initially, one of the main reasons I started was honestly just to document my collection. I got back into the hobby in 2013, and for years just didn't really have any kind of collection focus, was just buying boxes to rip packs and chase big cards. And so anybody, if that's your main thing, I highly suggest just buying the cards you want. I know it's fun to rip packs and boxes, but I really wish the sets and individual cards and stuff I could have put together with that. I really wish I would have had those instead. But anyway, so that's how I started. Ended up moving a lot of those cards, was almost out of the hobby in general. When I met my wife, just didn't make time to collect, and we're in the process of buying a house, so was selling off all those cards I had to go towards the down payment for that. And then right before I was totally out of it, just it's around 2018, some of my friends got into it. It's when hobby really started to take off, the different rookie classes and stuff. So kind of rekindled the interest for me, and just been in over my head from there. Just haven't looked back, and definitely not going back. But those first cards, you know, like I said, I'd rather would have just bought the cards I wanted, but there was still a lot of cool cards I ended up pulling, and just never had documented in any way. There might be some random pictures from that I took pictures for, like, eBay and stuff like that on some of my devices, but overall don't have a lot of documentation of a lot of those cards. And even when I first, you know, like I said, my interest in the hobby was rekindled there in like 2018, 2019. Was player collecting Bryce Harper pretty heavy. Had up to like 700 unique cards of him, and then leading up to the 2022 National, ended up moving most of those cards, all but maybe like 100 or less, just to build up money for vintage as I got into vintage more. But same thing, I don't really have any documentation of that, so so just personally for me, it's just cool to be able to look back on any video I've made. Most of them are probably cringy, but a lot of the beginning ones probably even worse. But you know, there's lots of stuff even that I've shown on my channel, lots of stuff in 2 years that I no longer have, just because it was a purchase, maybe something a project I started or was doing, and just didn't stick with, and basically have for the most part kind of a self-sustaining hobby. So end up moving some stuff to buy other cards. So that's basically what I've done a couple different times, especially as I've, you know, branched off into different things with vintage. And just want to, this is the Reggie Jackson base card here, so I'm missing that one. It's the second of the 4. But yeah, so I mean, I still, if I ever, and I've done it, even, you know, just in the 2 years, gone back and looked at some of the videos and some of the stuff I showed off, and that way never truly maybe miss it. And for the most part, it's always something I could pick up again if I want to, but just to have you know, those memories to look back and just say, oh, that was a cool project, I maybe should have stuck with it, or just even to, you know, look back fondly on the cards you picked up, or remember who you picked them up with, or anything like that. So that was kind of one of the reasons I got in. I mean, that's one that a lot of times people don't say maybe, but for me that was a big reason, and glad I did it. And to have this, you know, I have like 215 videos or something, to have that all saved and documented on YouTube is great, that I can, you know, go back, reference things if I need to. So I enjoy that. And then for years I was a lurker on YouTube, so would watch videos, wouldn't really comment. Before I made my channel, I finally decided to put myself out there, even just talking to people in comments. This is 270 here, so I'm missing this is the Carlton Fisk base card, so it's a third of the 4. But yeah, as I started to do that more and more, you know, I'd see people do videos and talk about, you know, the National and meetups, and going to card shows with people, and just talk about live streams and everything like that, and just the relationships with other content creators. And I think we all probably to an extent see that and think the same thing. I'd love to be a part of that. And I never truly thought, like, I mean, I'd always, as cool as it sounded, I'd always hear people say like how great it was and how cool everybody is and how welcoming everybody is. Like, that all sounded great, but I mean, I didn't realize how true it was. I think we all maybe get to that point where we know we've been told that, but till you actually experience it and experience the generosity and just the sharing, and even if it's just knowledge and everything like that here in the hobby, and just how much more fun it can make collecting, that's 1000% true. And like I said, that was another reason why I kind of started, because I wanted to build those connections. And it's been a success and so much more. There's so many people that, I mean, I just have contact info for, at least I wanted to count beforehand, Just people, even I have their numbers or emails. I mean, I'm sure close to 100 people at this point. Obviously don't, touch base with everyone all the time, and that's something I want to make a little bit more of an effort to do, just to, build some more lines of communication there, just because it makes it so much fun. But just, I mean, we all obviously, at the end of the day, there's only so much time, but, so yeah, just not even the contacts and stuff like that to have, but the genuine friends, I've been able to make, in these 2 years is just amazing. Like, people I talk to daily, group texts of people that in a day's time easily rack up over probably 100 total texts and likes and stuff like that on, group texts. And just, it's fun to just, anytime you see a card on eBay or news story about something in the hobby or just sports in general, just share it with somebody and just get that feedback on it, or it's just very cool. So that was another reason I definitely wanted to start making content, and like I said, that has exceeded my expectations and so much more. Obviously not not a reason I or probably anyone else really does starts making content, but the generosity, like I said, some of the gifts I received, and like I said, this isn't anything I remotely expected and not a reason why I started doing it, but I mean, you still have to mention it, just how amazing it is to, and I mean, I do the same thing, either cards I have in my collection already, or, sometimes picking stuff up that you see it and you just think of a certain person, and it's like, this just belongs in their collection and you want to get it in their collection. So for, to have anybody, go out of their way, I mean, some of the huge cards and just thoughtful cards that I've been gifted from so many people is just, like I said, amazing. And like I said, definitely not a reason why did it. Never expected that in my wildest dreams, but just so cool. That means so much. And then not just even, gifts, but even just, like I said, missing here, this is the, I believe this is the I think it's a World Series card, and with Reggie Jackson, and I'm assuming, so this is 78, so I'm assuming that's documenting his 3 home run game in 77. Not positive on that, but that is the last of the 4 cards I need. But anyway, it just, the time anybody takes out to, communicate back and forth, be it via text or email or in the comments, and just in their own videos, to take the time to make stuff, and almost solely just to share their knowledge about something. So the amount of, like I said, I started maybe around 2020 or so, started delving into vintage. Didn't really, that's about when I started collecting it too. But that's really how I got kind of invested in, at least in watching the YouTube sports community, was just trying to learn about vintage sets. And I'm pretty sure I started with like a baseball collector's channel, when I just typed in search for card sets on YouTube, and his videos came up. And then from the Hall of Fame voting, I think was going on around when I first started watching, and then just seeing the names that were either active or already Hall of Famers, or people that were nominating new people. Learned a lot of channels that way too. Like I said, went a while just watching and not commenting at all, but finally took that leap, and would strongly recommend for anybody to first do that, to, you know, even if you don't make content yet, start building those connections, and just comments back and forth on videos. And then, like I said, anybody who's on the fence, highly recommend to start making content if you're not sure if you want to do it. If you, like I said, want to, you know, kind of experience the hobby with these connections and stuff like that, it's definitely worth it. So not just sharing your knowledge, like I was saying, take the time to do that, but or gaining knowledge, like one of the main things I've want to say that I not influenced to do, and if I do mean influenced at all, I mean from the standpoint of being inspired to pick things up, not in the, you know, somebody with 50,000 subs telling you to buy something because they have a bunch of them and want to sell them, but to be truly inspired by people's videos, to see them show something off or a project and just think, oh, that'd be really cool. And there's lots of things I've done. I flip-flop and lose focus so easily. There's so many things I've started and not finished. There's so many things I started and just moved on from, and used those cards, sold them to pick up other things. But it just keeps it fresh. But anyway, so much of that, though, I've like I said, been more so inspired than influenced by other people, just because it just see somebody show something off and you just want it, basically. So so many different, even to name so many different ways. But for a while I was kind of against, or was not really interested, I guess I should say, in autographs at all, and now that's one of my main focuses. Just between Hall of Fame autographs and just kind of like fan favorite autographs of guys that were good but not great, or great but not Hall of Famers. Just love picking stuff up like that. I've built some sets because I've seen other people build sets, and glad I have the 60 set completed, and can't believe to say it still, but have the 53 top set completed. Those are my only 2 completed sets, you know, vintage era. Like I said, I held on to I bought this in a lot. I had like 600 and some, and then from the cards I had, and picked up some of the Hall of Famers. But it's been well over a year. I had this just sitting around until I finally put it in a binder, and that's why I'm doing this last minute, because I just put it in the binder because I wanted to show it off for this video, just because I know John appreciates this set so much. Yeah, I'm 4 cards away from this, and I think like 5 cards away from the 76 top set. But after that, I don't really have any aspirations to build anything from the 50s or 60s anymore. These 70 sets is something, you know, I kind of saw people build these, and it's you know, it's much easier to, you can find some of these commons for, you know, a dime or less, easy, in decent condition. It's so much easier to pick up stuff like that in bulk than you know, 50 sets where your commons are, you know, $3-4 a piece, and then, you know, you get to the high numbers and short prints, and they're $10 or $20 a piece. The end of the 53 top set was definitely a struggle to pick up some of those. But yeah, so I did that for so long, and then kind of inspired by a lot of people that player collect and team collect. Favorite team being the Phillies, so definitely, I mean, the absolute master, I think, of the Phillies team collecting is Mike O. I mean, it's usually like every week, every 2 weeks, he'll show his pickups. They're usually all Phillies pickups and can span anywhere from 1800s to a set that just came out in the past week. But it's always so awesome to see. And there's lots of other guys too. I don't want to get too much into name dropping people, but that's a I'm never gonna be able to do it to that extent, but that's definitely a focus going forward now, is team collecting, just because it's so much easier to complete. You know, the Phillies through the 50s and 60s, just Hall of Famers. You only have Ashburn and Roberts, and even their stuff isn't, you know, it's very undervalued. So that's kind of, like I said, one of the things I've been inspired to do recently, and went through the cards I had, built or started putting the Phillies cards I had from each year throughout the 50s. I'm up to like 63, I believe. So putting them in the binders, I go through, and that'll be something that I definitely plan on looking for at this year's National. It's just to build some, you know, the commons and stuff, even from some of those years, just because I love the sets so much. And instead of having to pick up 500 cards from a set and pick up every single card, just to, you know, pick up 20 or 30 cards from one team is gonna be a lot easier, and you know, be able to build the knowledge and the history of, you know, my favorite team a little bit more. So this is the end of this. I've already rambled on for a while, but like I said, those are the main things that I've been lucky enough to be a part of and experience since making content here. John, I like this contest. It was good seeing other people's what they say. I mean, for the most part, a lot of it is similar, and I definitely think that those relationships and getting I'm so excited to I went to the National in Atlantic City. I was like less than 10 videos into my channel. I had like 16 subscribers, so I put myself out there and introduced myself to a couple people, but you know, people I watched and didn't comment on their stuff yet. I felt awkward. I didn't need to, because seeing now, I know how, you know, I mean, we're all just normal people, so seeing how that is. But I mean, at the time I wasn't. So 2 years later, and you know, getting to know so many more people, and the interactions back and forth, just so looking forward, you know, less than 2 months now to this year's National, and you know, staying in a house with like 12 or 13 other guys. That's going to be awesome. Just can't wait for it. Like I said, that's, I would guess, the most similar thing that'll probably come up between most people's channels. Like I said, we all say it, that it's definitely the interactions and the people, but I mean, it's so true. So again, thank you, John, for this contest. Congratulations on 2,000 subscribers. This was really fun to do. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around and listening to this. And just remember, any card can be a great looking card, even if it has 4 soft corners. Thank you.